that the families which live here in Gagauzia, at the birth of their first child, they get more benefits than in any other regions of Moldova. Besides the benefits paid from the Republic of Moldova, we pay to them additional money for at the birth of every child. So that our demography is getting better. There is still a space for improvement, but we see the increasing number of young families staying here in the region. So this is another program of allocating special milk mixes for young families. Um, This such programs represent an essential support, financial support for young families. So, in order to lighten their burden, we allocate these milk mixes for. Free of charge to young families, free of charge during the first 6 months of life of their babies. After birth of a baby, when a baby goes to kindergarten, we are a single region where kindergartens are absolutely free of charge. 70% in the Republic of Moldova, 70% are paid by the state, 30% are paid by the state. Here in Gagauzia, those 30% are paid by the local budget. So for parents, kindergarten is absolutely free of charge. The parents' only concern is to get a child to the kindergarten without having any financial expenses. So then, later, going to school, all the priorities discussed today, of course, they influence on our everyday life, and our children now spend at school more time. So that is why we organized special school canteens at schools in order to make to improve the health condition of our children. So another fund that we have is to support the children in need of special medical services. We provide different services, different medical services, up to high technological surgery operations. But of course, there are some problems, so we are not able to cope with some operations which are not conducted in the Republic of Moldova in general. So we have a special fund in order to help such persons to get those operations beyond the Republic of Moldova, where we conclude special agreements with the clinics able to perform such operations. We transfer money to corresponding clinics in order to help with operations for such persons, such children. Of course, such programs are quite expensive, but still they are effective, and it is important to us that to help such families who stay and live here in the region. Another program that we have for students of our Comrade State University. This year, the criteria for participating in this program have been changed. Our main priority is to prepare didactic personnel in the region, and due to increasing the financial incentives, we see more students entering the Comrade State University in order to teach at our schools after graduating this university. So this is all our schools. In all our schools, you may see young, active, proactive teachers. So grant support for the students of our technical university is one of the things that we are proud of, and it bears its fruitful results every year. Next year, we hope to see our first graduates, 72 students included into this program. The essence of the program is that every student who entered the technical university has a financial support from the region in the amount of 10,000 lei, whether for paying the contract or whether to improve their living conditions or for everyday expenses. But the principal thing is that every student studying at the technical university gets this financial support from the region. So next year we'll see our first graduates studying according to this program. We are waiting for them here at home in the region. Dear students, dear guys, and dear potential students and potential employers. Yesterday we've presented a lot of enterprises in the IT sector, enterprises working here and who are eager to see you here and who are ready to create for you the most comfortable working conditions. Our next program is ILKE regional program. This is a program Prima Casa, first home or first house. It is quite famous today in Moldova. It is oriented to young people. Mm, according to this program, the state grants up to 50% of the cost of housing cost. So any young family who decides to get a home here in Gagauzia will be granted up to 75% of the expenses from the regional budget. So during 1 year and a half, we have 72 beneficiaries of ILKE program, which means 72 families acquiring home here in our region, which means 72 young families living and working here in the region. Besides, we have a program for support to support the program to attract young medical personnel here in the region. It is working besides, despite the pandemic situation, we managed to attract several dozens of young physicians who came to work and live here in the region. The total number of our programs is 18. Here on the slide you see the list of them. Let me tell you that in the current year, the regional support due to the social programs for young people, for young workers, for the citizens of our region made over 83 million lei, which we spent to create comfortable living conditions for our citizens, for the citizens living in our autonomous region. Our first steps were amounted to 9 millions. This was our first experience, our first steps, our first mistakes. But now the budget makes almost 84 million leis, which we spent in all localities and all regions of our autonomy. So this is the last slide, social guarantees for our workers, comfortable conditions which are very important for every worker. A part of the social package has been granted by the investor, like insurance, medical insurance, but some of the expenses are covered by the region. We guarantee scholarships, benefits, guaranteed medical services, free kindergartens, and many other programs. We liberated investors from some expenses, bearing that burden by ourselves in order to show and to prove to you that Gagauzia is not just attractive from the investment point of view, but it is also comfortable for our citizens, for our workers. As Margaret Thatcher once said, that the main asset of any state is its population, human resources. So we have the necessary comfortable conditions for you to come to work here and to open and develop your talents.
Thank you very much. I believe that after your presentation, I believe every person would be willing to study at the technical university, and all the graduates would love to come back to Gagauzia. The third speaker, as I introduced earlier, Ms. Andrea Kuzova, Deputy Resident Representative, UNDP Moldova, and I would kindly ask her to tell us about the UNDP program, how the program supports the development of ICT sector and development of regional solutions. The floor is yours.
Very good. So thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. And first of all, allow me to thank the organizers, but also Madame Vlach for inviting UNDP to be part of the investment forum, but also to be part of this panel. I am representing UNDP here, who has been having a long-term partnership with Gagauzia as well, but also with a lot of colleagues and the panelists on this panel. So let me just start a little bit broadly, right, on what actually inspires and what motivates UNDP in this context and also broadly. But let's just focus on context right now. We are living extraordinary times. The COVID-19 really started as a health emergency, but really then transpired as a crisis into a lot of sectors, whether they are economic sectors or social sectors of Moldova. UNDP has very recently finalized, together with partners, national partners, partners from private sector, partners from development partners, a socioeconomic impact assessment on the most vulnerable groups and also economic sectors in Moldova. We studied really the impact of COVID-19. And also part of the assessment, we tried to understand what could be the policy recommendations, whether midterm or long-term, that would really look or help us to look forward better and actually improve you know, the systems and the processes that are driving several sectors. And out of this assessment, what we understood very clearly is that digitization or digitalization, whether we are talking about economic sectors or social sectors like education and health, is very important. So we need to understand, you know, what are the e-solutions that can help move a lot of administrative and social services to online part, and also how to help economic sectors and businesses to also have a lot of e-solutions that will help their life. And so we understand that the demand for e-solutions, for digitization and digitalization is great. So where we are going to find the